Morning everyone. So if you're anything like me and you caught my video on getting rid of those flea beetles and how to go about it, I have an update for you. I was actually able to get rid of a good portion of those flea beetles, and we had thousands and thousands. They were jumping all over me. So you can kind of see the garden right now. It really does look pretty good. There wasn't a ton of damage. There was definitely some damage. You can see some part of the mint's damaged. So mint's supposed to repel flea beetles. I have chocolate mint everywhere. I mean, it's really tall in a lot of areas, and they were still all over the mint. They were all in the buttercups. We sow wild buttercups into our garden and using wildflower seed mix, and they just annihilated them. So here's kind of the damage done to the buttercups. The leaves just look like lace. They just kind of look like a lace-winged insect, and it just completely annihilated. So what I did was I took all these buttercups and I removed them from the garden, and then I'll put them far away from anything onto our burn pile. That way we can just, you don't want to put that back into the compost, because that's going to create a life cycle for the beetles to get back into your garden. They do lay their eggs under soil, and so we used mushroom compost, and they overwintered here beneath the wood chips in the soil. So that's kind of what happened. But I was able to pull most of the buttercups out, and it really seemed to solve a lot of the beetle issues. So are there still some beetles? Yes, there are. And we did go ahead and spray in some neem oil. So we used a gallon of water and about 1/10 of it neem oil. You can actually do it a lot stronger, but that's what I chose to do. And if I need another application, I'll use a little bit stronger application of it. But it looks really good. So this I just recently harvested. So the fennel right here, this is fennel, and I grow it as a perennial. It bared really well. There were hardly any insects on it. The oregano did really well, and the carrots actually had them on it, so I thought they would kill my carrots off, but they really were attracted to those buttercups. So I think that maybe buttercups are the excellent catch crop. You just want to take them out before they start seeding so they don't. So here's some of the beetle damage right here. What is this? Looks like an egg. So yeah, you can kind of see the damage it did to a few things. But overall, things fared pretty well. I wouldn't say that mint's a good catch crop for these beetles. I would definitely say that the neem oil worked considerably well. I've used it on other plants, and it hasn't worked always for certain insects, but it seems that that's pretty efficient this time around. So I highly recommend, if you have a garden and you're okay with it and you have the space, interplanting, because it seems like there were a lot of plants that the beetles were attracted to, and a lot of plants they completely ignored. Like, they completely ignored the bee balm that I had growing next to it, but they did kind of slice up some of the pepper plants, and they were attracted to some of these. So this is kind of how it fared. As you can see, there are absolutely no, I don't see a single one. There's probably some down in the soil, but I don't see any beetles whatsoever. So I'm really thankful for that. I hope this kind of helps somebody out that wants to get rid of flea beetles and they want to do it naturally. You could use diatomaceous earth. I'm nervous about using it on any plants that I'm saving the flowers for or allowing to flower, in case that those attract pollinators, or even it getting in the shell of the ladybugs that we have here. I'm really scared that it'll kill them off. I will tell you that I did see we have a pretty good population of lady beetles, because we incorporate so much to kind of give a habitat to the beneficial insects within our vegetable garden. So what I would say is that they're actually out here and they're eating some of the beetles. They actually eat flea beetles, which is really cool. I did not know that previously, that they would do that. I was always think, oh, ladybugs, aphids, but they're actually quite a bit, especially their babies, which is important because the ladybug larvae eat way more than the grown ones do. And so that kind of creates a life cycle to constantly have beneficial insects or even tiny birds like finches, they may occasionally pick at your food, but their houses, they mostly stay in there and they do eat a lot of insects. So we've been really big on kind of making an area for certain birds and making areas that attract certain insects. That way, whenever we do have a pest problem like this, it gets under control pretty quickly. Previously, we had a pretty big issue with aphids on our turnips, and man, I can't tell you the amount of ladybugs, just handfuls and handfuls, that were naturally attracted to those turnips and cleaning everything off within a couple of days. I didn't have to do anything, which was really exciting. So if you're down for some more natural pest control, then that's definitely an option. Here's actually one of our tomatillos, has the little tiny holes in it. I don't know if you can see it. These are volunteers from last year's tomatillos, which is pretty cool. So there you go. This is nothing formal, but it is a kind of a quick overview so you can see what worked for me. And if it helps anyone else out, I'll be incredibly grateful. So enjoy and happy gardening.